welcome to the Evol Radio broadcast. Some of our fans may or may not know you. Please introduce yourself and let our listeners know about you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Josie Pace, and I am an industrial electronic rock musician, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about who you are inspired by.
I'm inspired by a lot of fashion, obviously. Studs and everything is like Alexander McQueen and Vivienne Westwood. But musically, I'm inspired by a lot of different artists, and they come from a lot of different genres, ranging from like the Eagles and classic rock is what I grew up on, all the way to like Nine Inch Nails and Skinny Puppy. So I like to meld the different genres to create something fresh and new.
You're pretty successful with that. Do you think that your fashion sense plays a big part in the aesthetic of the performance?
Most definitely, yeah. I put as much work into the look as I do all of the music and everything that we create in the studio to another level, what we're trying to reach here. So having the look really completes everything. You
are definitely taking it to the next level, especially with your new album, Noxious. That stuff just blows me away. Yeah, it blows me away. It's a whole other level for you. I think it's definitely more mature content, and I think it digs deeper into who you are as an artist and some of the things that you've been through. Please explain your creative process. Do you start with a vocal line or something catches your attention?
Usually everything starts with just me. I write the songs alone, guitar first. Once they're created, I take them to Ken or I send them to him, and we work in the studio creating an electronic version of the song. So we'll go through chord by chord and create something that's completely different from what it started with, because everything that I write is written on acoustic guitar first, and it's got more of a melancholy melody line usually is how I write first. And then once we start getting into the electronic stuff, a lot of the melody lines will be tailored to what the songs start to sound like. Then it takes on a different sound each time we go through it. It's a long process. It's different.
Sometimes you can't rush quality. That's more important to put out over the amount of content, like volume. You mentioned you play acoustic guitar. Do you think that makes your songwriting a little more unique?
It makes it stronger, since I can strip every song back down and play it acoustically. It's got real good bones.
Yeah, like a soul to it.
Exactly, yeah. It's not just laying down some sort of dance beat or anything and just writing lyrics around what's already there. It's coming from a place that's personal to me, and I create some sort of art around it.
You're connected to the instrument, and through that, the music.
More like a therapy session.
Music is great therapy. It's definitely got me through a lot of times that I might not have been able to get through. Some of your songs are really dark. Others are deep and inspiring. Is there a hidden meaning behind any of your music?
They all have hidden meanings. Every single song that I write in poetic terms. What I write about isn't what everybody else is going to hear in the song. I could be writing about something different from what somebody else hears, but the way that I write tailors the song to the listener, and they can come to their own conclusions and come to what they feel the song is.
That's important to connect. That's something that separates your music from others, is that recycled dance beat just to get people on the floor. It doesn't have real soul. What do you do outside of music? You mentioned fashion. Tributes to your musicality, in essence, a hobby that you use as a creative way to influence your music.
Right now, I don't do a whole lot other than music, but I love to shop.
Yeah, I mean, that's an art form.
Right?
And you do some really good modeling.
That is something that I do often. Everybody needs to have content flowing. We do photo shoots, and we like to keep busy with video shoots, songs and everything, to keep the content flowing.
I appreciate it. I love when you put out new stuff. I blast it out everywhere I can, annoy people with it.
I annoy people with it too.
Do you collaborate with others? And if so, what is that process?
I have done a collaboration with a couple of people, the first being Sammy Dahl from IMX and Bullet Height, and Kat Von D's band now. That one just kind of came up. Me and Ken went to see IMX at the Shelter here in Detroit, and it was like when we had first started getting to know each other. And we stood in front of Sammy the entire time, and they had become one of my favorite bands very quickly. And we had our manager email her because we had finished one of my songs, Perfect Replacement. And he asked her just out of the blue, hey, would you like to sing on the song with me? And she was more than ecstatic to come and sing on the song with me, which was super cool. And, you know, a friendship was there already. I mean, I felt like I knew her forever. And she sang on it. We recorded it in LA, and we actually shot the music video in LA too. And she is so tiny, but she is such a powerhouse, and she's amazing. So kind, so sweet, and she's just so much fun to work with. And it's really nice having another girl around when I'm hanging out with Ken and Mark all the time. Another one we did was, it was actually the remix for Perfect Replacement. Raymond Watts from Pigs did a remix for it, and that was super cool. He was very nice. He was actually working on his album when we had asked him, so I didn't think he was going to do it, but he put his album on the back burner just for our remix, which was really nice of him.
Very cool. You've worked with some fairly recognizable names. Do you think that there is a challenge being in music and being a female as opposed to being a male?
I think there's always a challenge as a female. It's better, but there's always one person who's got a little snide sexist comments, or sometimes they don't even know that they're doing it. Oh, you should smile more. No, I don't. I'll smile when I feel like I need to smile. You don't tell me when to smile.
Women in industrial and electronic music, they need to be pushed to the forefront more. There's a lot of really creative artists who can come from their emotions and that people can connect with that. I support you. You are in good company. There are a lot of your peers out there who are doing amazing things just like you are. Tell us a little bit about your new album and how it is different from some of your older stuff.
When me and Ken started working with each other, we decided to put out singles just to keep content flowing and to get people interested in what I was doing since I was new. Once we decided to release an album, I actually wrote 5 or 6 brand new songs for the album that no one has heard. And then the other songs that are still on the album are previously released singles. After working together for a few years, we actually found a very mature sound that a lot of the songs didn't fit into. We wanted it to be dark and heavy and moody. Most of the singles that we had released beforehand were a little more young, and I've grown a lot since then. The album has a very mature feel to it.
It is a very mature feel. There's a lot of content that I don't think you've written about before. Are there any charities, causes, or ways to give back to the community that you support or are a part of?
I support suicide awareness. That's a big thing for me. Just knowing so many people that have been affected by that. My previous manager who committed suicide a few years ago. So that's very close to me.
Mental health is a good thing to prioritize and empower other people with. It's stigmatized a lot. Having a place and making someone or many people feel comfortable as a place to come to where they're not going to be judged and where they can just discuss some things that they're dealing with, that's very important. Be towards that cause is very admirable.
The songs in the album, they come from a place of mental health, and I like to reach people through music to let them know that they're not alone in the world.
It is good therapy. Connecting through someone who's going through something similar or has overcome that gives a feeling of there being a light at the end of the tunnel, or that it's possible to get through. I thank you very much for that. Have you ever dealt with performance anxiety, and if so, how have you overcome that?
Always. Every time I perform, I get nervous. Less now than before, but I guess it depends on the venue and the people that are there. I like to use that instead of being introverted and into myself and like, oh no, I'm gonna suck if I go out there. I like to push that energy to everybody else there and feed off of the audience, their response to me, if they know me or if they don't know me. Being on stage is my favorite thing. I will take that over recording every day. It's good to use all that nervous energy instead of bringing yourself down. You try to lift yourself up with all that.
Very cool. That I think is a strategy more people should employ. Recycling or upcycling or whatever. People don't think about energy, kind of off topic. People don't think about energy as something feel like the wind. And It's amazing how many vibes people give off and pick up on that, and it's good to put that positive energy out there. In your songs, the bartender's the only one clapping, you know.
Oh yeah, I have been there multiple times.
Yeah. You played a little bit around the United States. Is your hometown of Detroit, is that a better place for you as far as crowds, or are there other places where you've had better shows?
Detroit is definitely fun. I have a lot of people that support me here, which is great, you know, having a hometown support system.
Yeah.
And the energy here is amazing. We just played a few shows here in Detroit, one at Smalls, one at the Sanctuary, and that was with nightclub and actors.
Nice.
And it was packed and it was so amazing and everybody was just bouncing off the walls. But then we go and play somewhere like Bar Sinister in Los Angeles and the place is packed, everybody's bouncing off the walls, but the energies are so different because two totally different places, but it's just like ecstatic. Like you could feel the electricity in the air. LA is definitely pretty far up there for me. That one's a fun one to play. The support system here is amazing, and I love talking to all the fans that live here, and they're like, oh my gosh, you're playing Malls again? Yeah, I'm gonna go see you. And then they come the next week to another venue and see me. Having that support system is...
Any shout outs you want to give to that support system, or any ways that people can find you, such as social media or a website?
Yeah, if you're interested in listening to any of my music or seeing all of my videos, you can go to my website, which is josiepace.com, or you can find me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Bandcamp.